was just devastating. So I would hope that every person in our country, and certainly running for president, would appreciate that. And listen, people have bad days. Sometimes they regret what they say, and we should ask them again to clarify their positions.
So finally, and if you guys don't remember, I called this out months ago. It is, to me, impossible for a Republican, a black person, to run for the Republican Party and still have his conscience attached. Like, you can't live in reality and still decide to be a black American running under the Republican Party. And it's weird because Mr. Tim Scott, how long has he been representing the Republican Party after all the crazy, I would just say only the past 5 years? It's just been nonsense, craziness coming out of the Republican Party when it comes to race relations, when it comes to race topics, cultural disputes or whatever. The Republicans seem to find themselves on the wrong side of the conversation on purpose. Like, they're not uneducated. They know what they're doing, but they purposely decide to be on the wrong side of the conversation because they're a bunch of fascists, racist, bigoted people. Most of them, like 80% of them, okay? But then you have a Tim Scott, okay? After Ron DeSantis in Florida decides to partake in changing the curriculum when it comes to Black history, saying that for whatever reason, I don't know where they decided to pull this out of someone's ass, but they decided to, as you already heard, teach that slavery had benefits and Black people benefit from slavery. Like, benefit, slavery shouldn't even go together, shouldn't even belong in the same sentences. But after it's been outed that Ron DeSantis has endorsed it and partaking in that changing curricula, Mr. Tim Scott decides to still find a way to half-ass point out this situation that the Republican Party seems to be in. He half steps that for whatever reason. So let's go ahead, watch this interview, and let's have that conversation.
As a country founded upon freedom, greatest deprivation of freedom was slavery. There's no silver lining in freedom, in slavery. The truth is that anything you can learn, that any benefits that people suggest you had during slavery, you would have had as a free person. What slavery was really about separating families, about mutilating humans, and even raping their wives. It was just devastating. So I would hope that every person in our country, and certainly running for president, would appreciate that. And listen, people have bad days. Sometimes they regret what they say, and we should ask them again to clarify their positions.
What in the hell did he just say? Did he just say sometimes people have their bad days and we need to ask him to clarify for us? This is the tiptoeing gymnastics that you have to do mentally to, for whatever reason, represent the Republican Party and being Black yourself. This is how ridiculous you have to look. And he's not even talking about the entire plot of slavery here in America. They did beyond worse things than what he just mentioned. It is crazy. And this happened for how long? And he has the nerve to say, hey, maybe we need to ask Ron DeSantis to clarify for us. Brother, what are you doing? It's the money has to be beautiful. He must be making money hand over fist to be this, to to try to save face for whatever reason. We know that the whole entire time, we know the Republican Party is now, I know the Democratic Party used to, but we're talking about now, 2023. The Republican Party is now the party of racists, of fascism. We know this. There's no way you can try to explain that it's not. And it's weird because a lot of these individuals, of course, a lot of white people are going to say there's no such thing as racism. Racism is over. That was the thing in the past. But when a black person, when an African American says that there's no such thing as racism, you look at them and say, well, can you explain what Ron DeSantis is doing? And it's weird because let's hear a clip of Tim Scott himself saying that there's no such thing as racism. And try not to laugh. Try not to be surprised, because this is actually the nonsense that they hope that they can peddle to a lot of their viewers. Let's take a listen.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination. And it's wrong to try to use our painful past to dishonestly shut down debates in the present.
What if racism doesn't exist? And we know racism can be in different forms. It just doesn't have to be someone in a white hood with the white cap with the little point on the top saying out racial slurs. That's a thing in the past. Of course, these bigoted, racist individuals are going to get smarter. I know that's hard to believe, but they learn how to show it in different ways. Okay, they know how to manifest it in different ways. And with Ron DeSantis endorsing and trying to get out this whitewashed curricula, okay, there's no other way to explain it. This is why it's important that as Black Americans, African Americans, we need to make sure we educate our own kids, because we can't fully trust our educational system until we get somebody who we can trust in office to do such a thing. But even then, you don't want to rely on somebody else teaching your kids like some important factual things. Okay, don't let your kids be the ones to grow up thinking slavery never happened here in America. And if anything, it helped them with their job application. Don't let your kids be that, okay? Don't let your kids be that stupid. So it's important as parents, take your time to educate, to speak into your own kids, because at the end of the day, it is your responsibility. And we can't allow any more Tim Scotts. I don't know what happened with his parents, but they failed horribly. Okay. So, but once again, if you think I'm wrong, if you think Mr. Tim Scott is correct, and we just need to ask Mr. Ron DeSantis to clarify for us, like to really try to explain to us, it's a good thing that, you know, we teach people that slaves benefited from them being enslaved. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just got it backwards. Okay. Maybe I didn't read that book. Okay. But once again, let me know in the comments. And like always, let's have that conversation.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join the conversation by subscribing. Make sure to tune in next time, and like always, power to you, power to me, power to the people, power to the pod.